Hey guys, today I'm going to share with you a really beautiful dessert idea for the fall. It is my apple molasses spice cake. I love this dessert because it is just the picture of fall with those beautiful dehydrated apples, which are so simple to make. I'm going to show you how to do that. And of course, the delicious spiced cake underneath. Topped with a cream cheese glaze, it is a winner in every little bite. Let me show you how to put it together. So the first thing we're gonna do is prep our dehydrated apples. So to do that, it's super simple. We're just gonna take 2 apples. You really can use any variety you like. I'm using the Honeycrisps just because they're my favorite variety this time of year, but you can use whatever you like. We're gonna slice the apples on their side, so basically horizontally. And you want to slice them as thin as you possibly can, because the thinner you slice them, the more that they'll kind of curl up in the oven and create these really nice decorative edges. If you cut them too thick, they'll still dehydrate and it'll be great, but they'll just kind of lay there. So you'll probably get more apples than you'll need. I typically like to garnish with anywhere from 7 to 8 slices. So I will cut them all and then use the best ones, the ones that are the thinnest, and then save the rest for lunch boxes. So you want to place these apples on a large baking sheet with some parchment paper, making sure that they're all in a single layer. And then you're going to place in a 200-degree oven for 2 hours. I know this is what takes the majority of the time, but you can do this when you're just hanging around the house, cleaning up. It's really not that hard. You just need a good 2-hour span. Then at the 1-hour mark, you want to go in and flip the apples so that they start to cook on the other side. And then after 2 hours is up, you can turn the oven off and then just leave that oven door open a crack and let them cool down that way. It'll just help them dry up even more. Then once they're done, you can take them out and just leave them on your countertop until it comes time to serve. They're perfectly fine just sitting out there at room temperature. Then you want to pick your favorite bundt pan. I'm using this design that's called a crown design by Nordic Ware. I'll leave you a link in the description if you want the same one. I really like these bundt pans. I think they're heavy duty and really high quality. So once you spray the pan, you then want to go in with a pastry brush and just make sure you get all of the nooks and crannies in between because that's where a bundt cake can really stick. And I'm using the baking spray that has a little flour in it too, which I think also helps. And then in a large bowl, we're going to add 1.5 cups of light brown sugar, 3/4 cup of vegetable oil. You could also use melted butter, but I find the vegetable oil, because it's a pure fat, will give you a cake that's a little bit more moist. Here's the helpful hint. After you pour in the vegetable oil, don't clean out your measuring cup, because this works really well when you go to pour the molasses, because we're gonna need 1/4 cup of molasses, and it's really sticky. And what ends up happening is when you pour in the molasses, because you have that vegetable oil in the pitcher, it'll just slide right out. Now, if you live outside of the States and you're like, what's molasses? I think you guys in the UK call it treacle. I never know how to pronounce it. So let me know in the comments, how do you pronounce it? Is it treacle? I think it's treacle. Then we're also going to add 4 eggs. It does take a lot of eggs, but that does make this cake very light and will give it a nice height. Then we're also going to add 1/2 cup of unsweetened applesauce, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and 1/2 cup of water. Go ahead and just whisk that all up until everything is nice and combined. It does take a little bit of whisking because you've got that brown sugar in the molasses, which is pretty sticky. Okay. Now we can mix our dry ingredients. So in a large bowl, we're going to add 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, and 1 teaspoon of salt. And then we're gonna add a bunch of spices. So this time of year, I love a great spice cake. It's just so warming and reminds me of the holidays that are coming. And here's the combination that I like best. 1.5 teaspoons of ground cinnamon, 1.5 teaspoons of ground ginger, 1/2 teaspoon of ground cloves, and 1/2 teaspoon of ground nutmeg. And then you can stir that all up. And then we're going to slowly add our dry ingredients to our wet ingredients, just in thirds, whisking very gently in between each addition. And there we go, our batter is ready for our bundt pan. So now we're slowly going to pour the batter in the pan. And once it's all in there, just kind of level it out and tap it down on the counter. That'll release any of the air bubbles that might be in it. And then you are going to bake at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 35 to 40 minutes. You'll know that it's done when it's rising up and starts to crack a bit. And one of the things I really recommend, especially anytime you're baking something in a bundt pan, is to see that it's done with a large skewer. So don't try just a toothpick, because oftentimes these bundt pans are so deep that you really need a skewer to make sure it's baked all the way through. Then you can take it out and allow it to cool really completely. You don't want to release it too quickly or it could crumble. As this cake cools, it starts to firm up and will have more structure to it. And I find the best way to release a bundt cake is to take a sharp knife, preferably one that doesn't have serrated edges, and just loosen it gently around the perimeter. Then take a cooling rack, place that on top, and then flip the whole thing. And then you can lightly jiggle the pan and you can start to feel it coming loose, and then you can release it. And there you go, a beautiful looking spice cake. Doesn't that look festive? Okay, so now let's decorate this beautiful cake. So we're gonna take a 1/4 cup of whipped cream cheese. To that you're gonna add a tablespoon of powdered sugar and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. You can go ahead and whisk that up until it's nice and smooth. And then we are going to add anywhere from 1 to 3 tablespoons of milk. I say that because whipped cream cheese really varies from brand to brand. Sometimes it can be very light and sometimes it can be very dense. So start with a tablespoon, and if that's not enough, go to 2 or go to 3 if you need to. But we're basically looking for a pourable cream cheese frosting. So however amount of milk that takes for you is where you want to go with it. I like to just frost it just on the tippy top because I think it looks pretty that way. But you could double this recipe and do the whole cake if you wanted to. Then you are going to top with those beautiful dehydrated apples. And see, you'll start to have a really beautiful fall cake emerge. And when you slice into this cake, you will see how moist and delicious it is. And in every slice, you get that delicious moist spice cake underneath, a little bit of that cream cheese frosting, and of course, a dehydrated apple. This would be a real winner for Thanksgiving or even for Christmas that's coming up. Subscribe for more quick and easy recipes, and I'll see you back here next week with another one. Until then, bye.
Mister, don't treat me so unkind. Mister, oh, I'd be so inclined to shut you out and cut you loose without any regrets. To shut you out and cut you loose, I'm hedging my bets. Oh, won't you come on?